Good morning, all you art lovers out there. This is John signing in from a rather chilly studio in South Africa. Um, I just want to discuss today what I mentioned in my previous video, which I'll put in the description, the link in the description down at the bottom, on the abstract realism. I did mention that I was going to discuss, or should discuss, destructive enhancement. Um, Destructive enhancement, again, is quite a new terminology in painting, in art. It was mentioned some years ago by some artists in about the 60s, and then since then, nothing much. Um, Basically, destructive enhancement is making a piece of artwork or creation and then destructing it by doing something to it that actually enhances it. So, for instance, my terminology that I use for my work is Alterism, which is altering a piece of work and hopefully to enhance it. It is quite a risky process and it's not a natural process for artists to actually, I wouldn't say destroy, but destruct their work. It's very nerve-wracking most art, we're all perfectionists, so we don't want to damage our work, So it's quite a risky process, but I think the results are fantastic when it comes off and it comes out right. So basically, it could be any form of destruction. It could be you could do a sculpture and you could pour acid on it, for instance, and as long as it looks good and it's made it better than previously, then it would be termed as alterism or destructive enhancement. So it's not just my work; it's a new way of looking at art. And it's quite exciting because you never know the results. You don't know what it's going to do, and you hope for the best. And because of that, it's quite exciting. Anyway, I'm going to go to the computer and just show some examples, which is going to be easier to show you what it's all about and how it works.
Okay, so if you look at this photograph, close-up photograph of this painting, it looks just like a very abstract painting. But as you can see by the saturated colors and layers of colors and then cutting through, this creates the destructive enhancement. And the enhancement being that if you look at that picture was extracted from this painting, which will be somewhere in the region of about here. And you can see that if you're getting really close, that again, that just looks like an abstract painting. But as you can see that the cutting through of the paint, the destruction of it actually enhances it, because as it creates this beautiful sort of cuts through different layers and contrasts in the detail. So as you go out again, you can see that now this becomes more looks like trees, and that as you get right down to the end of this painting, you can hardly notice that destruction and chaos. But there are other sections. I mean, if I blow up another section, let's go up to the moon, and you can have a look here. You can see the same effect of how the cuts through the destruction of the painting actually enhances it by creating movement and contrast and interest. So there we go. That's how I'm trying to explain what destructive enhancement actually is.
So, just to add on to all of that, is that I want to explain where I got Alterism from. In 2011, I went to the Van Gogh Museum in Amsterdam. My cousin took me there, and it was a fantastic experience to see his work, and I got very inspired. And when I came back, my first painting, which I will show you, is I played with the paint while it was still wet, and I scratched through the paint and basically enjoyed the results and started this new way of painting. The thing about it is that in my work, I see beautiful images. I live in a beautiful area, and I see beautiful things through my eyes. But the underlying factor is there's always chaos on a human front. Wherever we go, it's beautiful, but underlying is this human chaos. So that's kind of what I've put through with my work, is that it's beautiful, but there's chaos involved. And when I do this cutting through the paint with a palette knife, it's quite it's quite amazing what happens. I use mostly acrylic to do this style of painting. I don't only paint with acrylic; I also paint with oil, as in this painting behind me, also with a palette knife. But it's not the same process, because with destructive enhancement with Alterism, you actually have to layer different colors of layers on top of each other and contrasting layers, and then cut through the paint to reveal this contrasting abstraction in the paint. And I find it works much easier and better with acrylic than with oil. But it is a very, very difficult process, because you actually have to do a lot of planning first and get ready to do it. And it's not to paint with this oil process is beautiful. It's relaxing. It's very pleasant. With Alterism style, it's not necessarily that pleasant. It's quite stressful, because you have to mix a lot of paint, and you've only got about an hour or so, depending on weather conditions, before it starts gelling, and then you can't cut through it. So you've got to work really fast, and you've got to plan, and you've got to get a lot of paint down. I use a lot of paint, so it's not as enjoyable, but the results are very enjoyable. When you pull the paint through the different layers, and you get these fantastic abstract kind of images inside the painting, it's very exciting for me. So that's basically what destructive enhancement is, and I will do some more videos on the contrasting colors and oversaturating, because that's also a very, very complicated process to get it right. If you oversaturate colors, it can be completely wrong. So, but I oversaturate these colors so that when I cut through, I get a much higher contrast in layers. So you might have an orange sky, but you put a red underneath, or you put a blue underneath, and when you cut through, that blue or red really is contrasting against the yellow sky, so or orange sky. So that's what I do, and that's what this is about. And I just hope that you guys enjoy this video and my explanations and my art. And my art is available. The originals are available on my website listed below. So if you have any queries or would like to purchase one of my paintings, you're most welcome to contact me, and you can own your very own Alterism piece of art. Anyway, guys, stay safe in this chaos that we have, and we'll see you soon.